violence, showing this gentleman and this security guard my press pass. So we're gonna flip this around. We're outside Griffin Media. Are you aware that the United States military through DARPA is deploying directed energy weapons? Are you aware that the United States military through DARPA is poisoning our skies and deploying directed energy weapons against us?
I'm asking you, what do you need to...
I need to talk to whoever it is in Channel 9 who's going to be responding to their infrastructure being sabotaged. Their next rad station, their satellite and communications. Yes. My name is Michael Lewis Arthur Meyer. No, hold on. My name's, let me finish. You keep interrupting me, bro.
Sir, I'm right here.
But let me answer your questions. Let me answer your questions. I want my audience to hear me clearly through all the traffic back there. You are conducting an interview with me right now.
I'm not.
Well, I would like to talk to whoever is going to respond to the equipment that's being sabotaged, because law enforcement isn't responding to me. Yes, I have information that Channel 9's news communications are going to be taken down at the same time military weapons at Will Rogers Airport and Oklahoma University are going to be taken down by the most violent militia in America. So if you would like to contact law enforcement and get them out here, since I've been trying to get the police to cover this story. My name is Michael Lewis Arthur Meyer. I'm an independent investigative journalist with VOP News. I have delivered evidence to Agent Joshua Witch of the Oklahoma City FBI in March with the whistleblower that confirms the United States military is using chemical agents, biological agents, and directed energy weapons against America through DARPA and USAP operations. That's the United States Antarctica Project. These are actual crimes in violation of Title 50, subsection 1528 that the President of the United States is in violation of at this moment. They just deployed a weather weapon to Texas and had a weather weapon spinning for 22 hours over the Guadalupe River and murdered 27 children. The media is not reporting on the military's DARPA experience. Channel 9 is covering for Governor Stitt and his military buddies and contracts that are taking over the weather in the state of Oklahoma. Channel 9 is now an official target of Veterans on Patrol. CBS, NBC, ABC, and Fox News will see their ability to mislead the public taken down as their communications satellite dishes are sabotaged, taken offline. Simultaneously, patriots will be going to NEXRADs all across the United States, and they will be sabotaging the quote-unquote Doppler radars that are in fact directed energy weapons. If you research General Dynamics, Raytheon, and Lockheed Martin, you would know that everything I'm saying is true. Your children are being poisoned by the United States military right now. Those stratospheric aerosol injections they spray in our skies contain barium, aluminum, strontium, fungi, chemical and biological agents that allows them to manipulate the weather at the cost of all of us getting sick. Channel 9 News is on notice. I would like to speak to whoever here is going to come, and if they want to talk, I'm going to let them know how we're going to sabotage their equipment, the purpose for sabotaging their equipment, and they can get the FBI down here to verify that we told the FBI that if they don't move to protect us from the military weapons being used against us, we are going to move against the military, the media, and the government.
So you're making a direct threat?
No, this is a promise. We're promising to cut Channel 9's news capabilities of lying to the people. Now, Channel 9 wants to come down and take the evidence I gave the FBI right now. If they want to tell the public what Governor Stitt is doing,
I'd be glad to take it from you.
Oh, absolutely. How about when we get done recording, I'm going to give you some files that I gave Agent Joshua Rich of the Oklahoma City FBI.
I'll take whatever.
Will you be willing to sit down with me and we can both stop recording and I can show you evidence of how the military is using DARPA, poisoning our children, and deploying weather weapons against us?
You have something for me to give Channel 9, I'll be more than happy to take it from you.
Are you affiliated with the Freemasons or the Fraternal Order of Police?
Yes, sir, I don't give interviews.
I'm just saying, are you a Freemason or are you affiliated with the Fraternal Order of Police? Because if you are part of the entity that we are going after. So I don't really want to give you that. If you're not a Freemason, then I'm more than willing to give you information. But you're getting me the total Mason vibes right now, you know, and I'm not liking that.
Well, I can't help how you interpret my contact. You've contacted the facility. I'm the lead security officer.
Your lead security. Well, would you go let the owner or the CEO know that there's a journalist out here that would like to give him information?
You have some information.
Yeah, they'll have to come out and talk to me.
No, you'll have to talk to me.
Well, your security, what do you have to do with Channel 9's news? Does security filter? I'm a journalist. You see my press pass.
Yeah.
I'm a credentialed journalist. My work has been featured in Congress.
That's fine.
So I have to give my stories to security? That's not the way it runs. My stories go through the editors of all the local news stations.
It is today.
Today we have to go through. Is that because your equipment got sabotaged as it should have?
I don't have any. If you don't have anything to share, as you
Oh, I have a lot to share. I've already told the FBI and the Oklahoma City Police Department that it's going to happen again to many satellites, many media satellites in Oklahoma City.
You have a good day.
Okay, so there you guys have it. That right there. We are outside Channel 9 News. We've contacted law enforcement and the FBI, and we've explained to them that it's going to escalate. We're not waiting for Marjorie Taylor Greene's bill to make it through Congress to do anything, because we don't have time to continue permitting the United States military poisoning our children, deploying weather weapons against our children. We're outside of Channel 9 News, who's having equipment malfunctions, and they're going to have more sabotage. And the goal is, if we get enough people, and thank you to those that are coming out to help and those that are positioning themselves around these locations. We've been putting the coordinates up on our news channel. If you see hard coordinates, and you're going to see another one for a Fox News station where they have plenty of satellite dishes, plenty of communication towers, easily sabotaged without harming life. The mainstream media is refusing to report what DARPA has done by murdering 27 children and more, counting, in the state of Texas on July 4th, while President of the United States was having you celebrate the military. The military was murdering those in Texas. Then they hit Texas and North Carolina with another weather weapon. The NextRad data that's being released, the data trackers, the tower trackers are doing their job. They are providing all the evidence we need to continue advancing with our operations. Mockingbird Media. I am outside of Channel News 9 now. Mockingbird Media. We have 3 threats to our children right now. The military, number 1. The military is poisoning us, experimenting on us. They're advancing DARPA because President Trump is a globalist, and he thinks it's a good idea to connect every human soul to the internet body of things. That's the media. Media is covering for the military. The government is covering for the media and the military. So Governor Stitt's office and mansion is going to be seeing some problems, as well as the Capitol building. The ability for the politicians in Oklahoma City to continue covering for the United States military, playing God with the weather. Channel 9 is having communication problems right now because militias are destroying their communications. That's what they're going to have. And people say that 3%ers don't exist. There are militias all over the United States of America, and a single body of militias that don't call themselves militias. But they're willing to do what the militias won't do. They're not going to barbecues. They're not voting for a president. They're not protecting politicians at a rally. They're going to be going out to eliminate Mockingbird's ability, Mockingbird Media, their ability to program our people and feed them lies. These people know full well what's going on. Here we go. We got someone coming out. How's it going, sir? You able to answer any questions related to Channel 9's news sabotage that took place yesterday? No? Okay. We're hanging out here at Channel 9, Mockingbird Media. Share this out. If you aren't aware and you're just joining us, media is now under target. They are now under target by VOP's Operation Leaning Tower. Media communications are free to sabotage. Anyone listening to this, you have my permission, my authority to go and protect myself and my family. I have submitted evidence to the FBI. I have submitted evidence to Governor Stitt. I have submitted evidence to Mayor Holt. I have submitted evidence to the U.S. Marshals, to the Highway Patrol, to the Oklahoma City Police Department, and we are outside of Channel News 9 letting them know, we're letting all their employees know that they aren't going to have a job lying to the American people soon, because we're going to destroy their ability to send their communications to your televisions. They're not going to be able to report lies when they're not able to report. The best way to protect our children is to stop the lies that they're being fed with. Their parents are believing that contrails are just harmless water vapor clouds. They don't know what a stratospheric aerosol injection is. They don't know what HARP is. They don't know what an ionospheric heater is. They have no idea the capabilities the United States military has of manipulating the weather. They can create weather weapons and deploy weather weapons all across the United States of America. There are many people, even in law enforcement, who are having interactions with me, and you see the hesitance. They are confounded and confused because they know I'm speaking the truth. They just don't understand why I'm out here. I'm supposed to keep my mouth shut. I'm supposed to plug into the system and go to work and be a little good taxpayer citizen and be a productive member of society. I'm not supposed to question the narrative. I'm not supposed to question the media. I'm a credentialed journalist. I should be protecting my colleagues that are inside this building. That's what I should be doing. They expect me to protect my colleagues inside this building that are lying to you. They're refusing to give you guys the evidence we provided to the Oklahoma City FBI. The military murdered those children in Texas, and these people in this building, they have not provided any actual coverage to our neighbors in Oklahoma so they can respond accordingly to assist the victims in Texas. They haven't told Americans yet that the military is the one who's deploying weather weapons against Americans, that the military is the one playing God with the weather. They haven't told anybody yet. Now, we got a lot of Freemasonry fuckery going along down here. Forgive me, Lord. I know I'm a little irritated. And the Freemasonries, these cops that are looking at me in certain ways, they know who I am, and I know who they are. Then they're not on your side, America. The only ones on your side right now is Veterans on Patrol. We are the only ones reporting. We are the only ones reporting on the military's directed energy weapons through DARPA that's manipulating the weather. We're the only ones that have filed complaints with the FBI. We're the only ones that provided Governor Stitt information. Governor Stitt said he would not address the military's use of illegal experiments. We have him recorded saying no. We asked him, would he declare an emergency session and stop the military from deploying weather weapons against us? And he said no. No, he will not. And then he met with Bobby Kennedy Jr. right after that because he's got a position secured in the Trump administration. Governor Stitt of Oklahoma is ultimately the reason why K-Gun, these news stations, Channel 9, Channel 6, there's Fox News, news stations are going to see communications, weather radars, any type of equipment that they're utilizing to suppress the truth and to promote lies will be taken offline. Nobody will be harmed. I promise the FBI, when we ran these operations, and they know I'm telling the truth, we can destroy their infrastructure and their ability to lie to the American people without harming one life in there. That's it. We're not harming their lives. We're taking away their ability to lie to you, to conceal the facts from you. You're outside Channel 9, who's had some equipment sabotage, who's expecting to get a lot more sabotage. They don't have enough security and law enforcement to protect all the open targets that we have right now. The United States military is poisoning our skies. They're playing God with the weather. They're using the internet body of things to mutilate our children. These DARPA experiments that Channel 9 is refusing to cover, these DARPA experiments are illegal. They are done in violation of Title 50, subsection 1520A. In March of this year, when myself and my whistleblower, my researcher, went to Oklahoma City FBI and presented our evidence, we've had 2 meetings with the Oklahoma City FBI, over 4 hours of interviews, evidence submitted over to Agent Joshua Witch, Detective McMillan. I've met with the Joint Terrorism Task Force multiple times. Since Chelsea Clinton put my face on Twitter in 2018 and called me a Pizzagate 2.0 conspiracy theorist, I have been monitored by the Department of Justice for 2 things. 1, criminal activity. Can they find some type of crime I'm committed to shut me down? No, you can't. It's not against the crime to help people and tell the truth. And my life. We had that on the record from the feds because of Chelsea Clinton, because of Craig Sawyer. Threats against my life were initiated that did not originate from the cartel. The cartel threat against my life came second, and then the third threat against my life was in North Carolina when we even met with the JTTF and told them that we were going to go out and start destroying the directed energy weapons that the military is using against Americans. When you guys that are watching this start taking initiative, there are many of you, and you're just watching, and you haven't talked to anybody. You don't even make comments. You're sitting there watching, listening, and paying attention. Look at our videos. Look at the penetration drills. Listen to what I say in them. You can go to those sites and you will see how easily we can destroy and sabotage their equipment and prevent them from murdering more children in the United States of America. The FBI, Pamela Bondi, mainstream media, and President Donald Trump, one way or another, are going to have to address the entire nation when it comes to the activities of veterans on patrol. And then when the entire nation has access to our channels, to our people, to our videos, to our children, to our families, they're going to see that we are in fact the ones who have been reporting the truth and standing up for our God-given unalienable rights. We are the ones that are doing our best to protect America. The military is the one that is poisoning your skies. The military is the one that is providing directed energy weapons embedded in our communities. And these media stations are refusing to tell Americans the truth. So these are not vital communications. These people not having the ability to lie to you does not put your life at risk. Nobody's lives will be at risk when we destroy the communication satellites, dishes, anything, the towers that Channel 9 is using, because Channel 9 is refusing to tell Americans about DARPA. Channel 9 is refusing to tell people about the stratospheric aerosol injections. The people that work at Channel 9 are just promoting CIA Mockingbird Media points. And more people who hear me around here, I'm very loud for a reason. Very loud for a reason. We want people to hear what I'm saying. When you're speaking the truth, that the military is playing God with the weather. When you're speaking the truth, that the military is using chemical agents and biological agents against our children. Why won't Channel 9 have a special story when we provided evidence? And why aren't they telling every family in Oklahoma what the United States military is doing? Why aren't they trying to debunk us? Why won't they bring us and our evidence onto their station if they think that we're lying? These people are controlled by Mockingbird Media. They are not allowed to go outside of their talking points. You have seen me when I've asked the governor a question off script, how they react. They ambush you, even an independent investigative journalist, and then they call you an activist instead of a journalist. Activism journalism is some of the only ways that we are going to undo fake media, because they lie to you. If you are upset because Channel 9's equipment got sabotaged, you're going to be really pissed off by the end of this week, because you're most likely not going to be able to watch your favorite News 9 program. We are offering Secretary Pete Hegseth, Kash Patel, the Defense Secretary, Kash Patel and Dan Bongino of the FBI, and Pamela Bondi of the DOJ. We are offering to sit at the table with the Department of Defense, the Department of Justice, and the FBI. We've already provided our evidence to the FBI. We're willing to sit with the Pete Hegseth himself, who's in charge of these DARPA operations. Pete Hegseth, who is expanding DARPA against the United States American citizens. You need to research DARPA. You need to research HARP. You need to research stratospheric aerosol injections. You need to research directed energy weapons. You need to research the internet body of things. You need to research nanodust particles. You need to research all these military experiments, because they are being perpetrated against you and your children. Your failure to stand up to these criminals is why your children are going to continue to be poisoned by the U.S. military. We have provided the whole list of poisons that the military is using against the American people, but you don't see these people right here, Channel 9. Channel 9 is going out and they're reporting that the Texas floods were just a freak act of nature. We don't want that reporting. That's a lie. Channel 9 is lying to you guys. Every one of you who have seen the Texas flood coverage on Channel 9 News, they were given their talking points by the Department of Defense, by the CIA, in these meetings they have. Now we got a whole lot of people that are starting to come in. Let's see what we got here. We can look at See that? You got some people in here. Good. They're paying attention. They're over there talking to security. We would like law enforcement, and we know you're watching this. Where are you at? FBI? Where's the chief of police for Oklahoma City Police Department? I'm out here right now at Channel 9. I just notified them that their infrastructure, their ability to continue to lie to the American people and cover for military crimes, that their infrastructure is going to see the most biggest destruction it's ever seen. I just told them, you guys heard it. Where are the feds? The feds are the ones who should be out here shutting this media company down because they're knowingly lying to the people. But I want to give everyone who's listening to this, and I want you to listen very closely, because if they ever release my interviews with the FBI, you will see Agent Joshua Rich confirm to me that Channel 9 and all other media outlets who knowingly lie to the people are not committing fraud. That they cannot go after the media and tell the media to report the truth. Those are the words that came out of an FBI agent's mouth to me during my interviews. We can't do nothing about the media. And I asked him, so can I go out to the public and just lie to them and take money and hire people and make a company? Absolutely, he said. It's not against the law to lie to the American people. Who brought you that, America? Who do you think? Barack Hussein Obama and his husband, Michael Robinson. Those were the ones who opened up the door for the media to be used as complete propaganda, and the FBI told me that I can lie to my audience. I can still have my audience send me funding and assist me in my reporting while I'm lying to them, and Agent Joshua Rich said that is not fraud. So where are you, FBI? Where are you? Where's the police? We're headed to the Oklahoma City Police Department after this, just so you know. We'll be doing a live video in their lobby to see if anyone wants to come down and take information so I can let them know what to expect, but not when to expect it. I'm not going to tell them when these strikes are taking place. I'm just going to let them know they're taking place and what our intentions are, and I'm going to provide them the full truth. Not a single person is going to be harmed through Operation Leaning Tower. Every American child will be freed from military DARPA experiments once we eliminate the infrastructure that they are utilizing against the American people. In the state of Oklahoma, we now have the capabilities of taking out 18 directed energy weapons. We know where 18 directed energy weapons are, and enough people come down here, we can simultaneously take out the media and the military at the same time. No one's going to be able to go out and make their little posts to their news stations and do their little videos and tell the American people that some random person is vandalizing their life-saving equipment. You're not going to be able to do that, Channel 9, because you're not going to have the ability to broadcast when we get done. Neither is Fox News. I have the coordinates of every single communication satellite for Fox News and Channel 9. They're on my channel. You're going to see more coordinates posted. Those are the communication satellites that the ones, if you're worried about taking out the big towers, you can easily take out these communication satellites without any risk whatsoever, and 90% of the places you would go to have no security or people watching it, just cameras. And it doesn't matter if they see you after the fact. You've already achieved your mission. You've prohibited these media companies from continuing to lie to the American people and provide coverage for the United States military, who continues to commit treason upon the American people. I don't think we're going to have anyone else come out, but we're going to hang around a minute. Maybe we can catch some more employees going in and out. Now, they have a back entrance. I tried to come in through the back entrance earlier. That security guard told me I had to come all the way back, even though I do have my press pass and I am credentialed. They said I would have to come in through the front, and then when I came to the front, the Masons got deployed against me. That individual you saw in the very beginning, he is a Mason. He is a member of a Masonic lodge. He's part of the Freemasons, Fraternal Order of the Police. He's chief of security. And now, if you want to provide any tips to K-Gun 9, or I'm sorry, not K-Gun, Channel 9, if you want to provide tips to Channel 9, you have to go through the chief of security. That's just what he said earlier. Now, obviously, you guys see this isn't a normal thing. Where is everybody? The United States military just deployed a weather weapon in Texas and North Carolina utilizing DARPA and the next rad towers They're poisoning our skies. They're poisoning our children. That's the United States military doing that. Everyone is going to be walking by are going to be getting doses of red pills because we're going to keep shouting the truth from the rooftops. Jesus Christ is Lord. Now's the time to repent and walk away from your favorite news station because your news station serves the synagogue of Satan. Now's the time to walk away and repent. Walk away from all the politicians that you're voting for because your politicians prop up the system, which is the beast system, so your politicians serve the synagogue of Satan. Now's the time to walk away and tell your children to get out of the United States military because your sons and daughters who are government property are utilizing weapons against our children. Your sons and daughters in the military are poisoning our children with stratospheric aerosol injections that contain some of the worst chemicals and contaminants known to man. It's not just the bioweapons they've convinced the American people to inject their own children with. These news stations, these media outlets, America, after the military, this is your second biggest threat. We're striking in that order: military, media, government. If they're going to say we're anything, they're going to say we're anti-military. And we are anti-military right now. We're against the United States military because it continues to use directed energy weapons and poison our people. Griffin Media refuses to take any of the evidence or report. They didn't put into their report that they had already received memos and notifications that their equipment may be sabotaged, that a militia may take them offline. They haven't released any of that information. They're making people think that some random person is just bothering them for no reason. Well, if that's the case, that must be a God thing, right? Or what's really happening? The media is the one. If we would have shut the media down during COVID, Americans would have willfully complied. So many parents wouldn't have injected their children with Trump's safe and effective vaccine. Died suddenly, wouldn't have hundreds of thousands of children dropping dead from heart attacks. Young, healthy teenagers all across the United States of America, dead. Dead because of that bioweapon that the Trump administration warp-sped into America. 27 children and more in Texas, murdered by the United States military because Donald Trump has decided, there we go, we got law enforcement coming here. Now, just so you know, we are on a public easement and we are allowed to report. How's it going, guys? Let's see if they have any, let's see if they can answer any questions. Are you guys here to get these people to come out and talk to me? No, I'm talking loud so everyone can hear me, and I'm recording. As you can see, I'm on a live stream. I'm a journalist. Okay. You guys know who I am, right?
I didn't know. What's your name, sir?
If you look me up in a computer, you're going to have to come back a little bit different to me. But my name's Michael Lewis Arthur Meyer, and you're going to have to contact the Department of Homeland Security's Fusion Center. There'll be a number on your computer. There'll be a number on it attached to my name. It'll say that I am a violent domestic terrorist, possible extremist. You'll see all the wording that they have under my name. I am not. I run a veteran suicide prevention program. And right now we're doing reporting on DARPA and the military's use of weather weapons against the United States of American citizens. I have supplied Agent Joshua Rich of the FBI, not only a researcher and whistleblower, but a plethora of documentation that proves the United States military is poisoning our skies with stratospheric aerosol injections and deploying directed energy weapons against civilians. They just murdered 27 children in Texas. Well, I can put my hand. Look, man, you got a gun. I'm unarmed. Okay. Do you see any weapons on me?
Can I check you for weapons?
You can't check me or touch me for anything. I'm here to ask you if you're going to help me get these people over here to send someone out who can actually answer my questions. That's it. I want them to send someone out who can answer my questions. Because they have an issue. Their communications are going to be shut down just like the military's next rads. I've already told the Oklahoma City FBI this. I've already told Governor Stitt's office this. We've already told Mayor Holt's office this.
Do you mind me asking, who in here were you looking to talk to?
I'm looking to talk to the editor. As a journalist, I have information that I provided to the FBI, And I want them to provide that same information to the people in Oklahoma so they know we're not crazy. The military has deployed DARPA against us. The stratospheric aerosol injections contain barium, aluminum, strontium, chemical and biological agents that they use to create the weather systems. Your NEXRAD Doppler radars are directed energy weapons. When they emit the electromagnetic frequency, they repel the nanocharged particles that are dispersed through the stratospheric aerosol injections, and by reverse engineering, they can steer away and box in a storm. When the hurricane, quote unquote, hit North Carolina, we did 4.5 months disaster response. We interviewed hundreds of survivors. They lied about the body count. They lied about the military weapon that was deployed. But Marjorie Taylor Greene came out and admitted that the military can control the weather. Bobby Kennedy Jr. just told everybody last month that DARPA was the one who was poisoning our skies. That is the Department of Defense. They're not telling Americans what they're doing. Ma'am, you have children? I have a daughter. Okay, and I'm married too now, and I have 2 children with my wife. Okay, we have 3 children. You think that I want my children breathing barium, aluminum, strontium? You think I want them to be worried about a flood coming to them, a directed energy weapon laser strike that will ignite a quote unquote wildfire? I've supplied enough evidence to the FBI that they could easily go to Pamela Bondi, because what's happening is, if you research Title 50, subsection 1520A, that law is a federal law on the books. Title 50 prohibits the United States military from using chemical agents, biological agents, and directed energy weapons. They have LRADs that are embedded on our cellular towers. These LRADs, these things have the ability to just heat you up and prevent you from making any movements. If you research the LRAD, yeah, directed energy weapons. They are all directed energy weapons. We supplied the FBI. The Department of Defense, the military, has put these weapons in our infrastructure. So if you go and take out a cell tower, you're going to disrupt cellular communication. And these sheep that are in this city who have no idea that they're being poisoned, they're going to be mad at us because we cut off the cell tower. And they think they can't use their phone. But they have no idea that the military has embedded directed energy weapons on our cell towers. The Doppler radars are directed energy weapons. They're called NEXRADs. I'm not lying. I provided everything to the FBI. We've been trying to shut this down for 4 months. I begged your governor to tell the truth.
Is it just you, or is there like a group of you?
The group is Veterans on Patrol. Obviously, you guys know, if you paid attention, I came here with a few people. And we do work with the homeless. So it's kind of hard to figure out who's doing what when you guys don't even know half the people we're working with.
Yeah.
Sir, what was your last name?
My name is Michael Lewis, Lewis, Arthur Meyer, Meyer. My date of birth is 11/26/78. I'm not going to give you my social, but you can go run that in the computer and you're going to see exactly what I told you. You're given a
Michael
phone number.
Lewis, is that your
Arthur Meyer.
Okay. You have 2 middle names?
Yes.
Or, okay.
Lewis
How do you
Arthur
spell
is
Meyer?
my middle name. Meyer is Meyer.
Okay.
And the only reason why I'm giving you this, I don't have to give it to you, is I want you to go look it up so you know I'm telling you the truth.
Okay.
They say I'm a domestic terrorist, but you'll be able to tell just spending 10 minutes with me and looking at what I showed the FBI, that I'm trying to save your children, and my children, because I don't consent to the military doing this. And I delivered my non-consent, and by law, Pamela Bondi should have forwarded our complaints to the Trump administration because he's the commander-in-chief. He can instruct Pete Hegseth, the Department of Defense, to shut down DARPA and to no longer experiment on us. They won't. They just deployed another weather weapon in North Carolina and it hit Texas again. I'm not making this up. This isn't science fiction. Huh?
Have you ever had an Oklahoma ID?
No.
Texas ID?
Arizona.
Arizona.
Yeah.
No, I don't think that you're making it up. You seem very passionate about what you're saying, and I understand.
Well, this Masons that came out here, are you part of the Masons or Fraternal Order of Police? I don't think so. This guy's totally got the Mason vibes by the time he walked up on me, and he knows I'm not lying.
We're just trying to understand like what's going on here and how we can best like help.
Well, the news channel, the editor, needs to have the actual facts of what's taking place, so he's not going out and lying to their audience and saying that they're just being attacked for no reason, that their infrastructure is being sabotaged for no reason. There is a very good reason to shut down the media, because the minute we take out the directed energy weapons, the NEXRADs, The media is going to go out and say that we're crazy, we're violent, we put everyone's lives at risk because Doppler radars provide advanced warning of storms. Those are lies. And the media will be able to convince the public of those lies. But if the media cannot communicate when the military weapons get taken down, and only alternative media like myself and other outlets, say Alex Jones, say James O'Keefe was with us out there in North Carolina. Donald Trump was literally 100 meters away from our camp in Swannanoa when we did disaster response. So Donald Trump knows full well about the military's use of manipulating the weather. They're playing God with the weather.
Do you and your group have plans of taking these down? Is that what you said?
Oh yeah, we've already told the FBI. I've already sat with the FBI and I told them our intentions and our preparations, and I told Governor Stitt, if you go to my news channel, ma'am, on my YouTube, you'll see me walking into Governor Stitt's office.
Do you have a link?
Yeah, you can write it down. It's VOP News. You'll see a picture of me and my daughter.
VOP, V as in Victor?
Victor October Paul News. It's on YouTube. That's the channel we're on right now that people are watching. So this is my YouTube live stream, and I actually have the live streams of everything I told you. I've been at the Directed Energy Weapons. I've been at the FBI. I have live streamed videos of me explaining how people can file their complaints at the FBI. I've done everything I can to get people to redress their grievances through the government's official channels, so we wouldn't have to take the extreme measures that we have to take now. Because these official channels are covering for the military crimes being committed against us, we have to knock out these official channels' capabilities of continuing to mislead the American public. Everyone in Oklahoma has a right to know that Governor Stitt has made deals with the military-industrial complex to increase their weather manipulation capabilities. We're in the capital, weather capital of the nation. Oklahoma University Research Center at Max Weisheimer Airport. I've done extensive reporting out there. I filmed the Directed Energy Weapons. I went to Sheriff Chris Amoson's office, Oklahoma County Sheriff. I talked to the Deputy Chief. On my news channel, you'll see everything I'm saying. I do live videos like I'm doing now. I have been begging people for months to stand up and stop letting the military poison my child. I am fighting for my children, your children, and even their children. And this guy right here, his children. Wait, how did I discover it?
Yeah.
Some children years ago pointed up at the sky and they were asking about the chemtrails. So I started doing a deep dive.
Okay.
And then I started researching chemtrails. And then I started researching HAARP, ionospheric heaters, weather manipulation, the United States Antarctica Project. I researched DARPA extensively, the Internet Body of Things. I've taken the government patents, the government's own weapon designs, General Dynamics, Raytheon, and Lockheed Martin. I'm running operations against those military contractors right now. We're literally, everything I'm telling you, you have live videos and hard videos on my news channel. Been doing this for 4 months now. And these people are lying, and I'm here as a journalist to ask them to stop lying, take the evidence I have, tell Oklahomans the truth, or you're not going to have the ability to lie to Oklahomans anymore. They won't have the ability. I don't have to do anything but stand here. People will go out and destroy these weapons. Absolutely. All I have to do is stand in the gap and do my reporting and make sure that we don't have any hotheads that are going to get in and harm life. I promised the Oklahoma we weren't going to harm a living soul. I'm not out here to hurt people. I'm out here to stop the military from hurting us. I'm out here to stop the Department of Defense from using experiments on us. I don't consent.
So how do you plan on removing these devices?
The next rads, if you go to my channel, you'll see I've been at many of them. I've done live videos. I've had over 8 law enforcement encounters. My wife was at a couple of them with me. We had nothing but peaceful interactions with police officers. I have several of them on my news channel confirming that they're weather manipulators. They are aware of DARPA. They know the military is doing this. And the majority of the rest, they're completely clueless. They had no idea. They think that chemtrails are contrails. They think that directed energy weapons are radars. That's not the truth. The military embedded weapons in our infrastructure. We have the patents, we have everything. The money the taxpayers have spent, everything's available for the public to access.
Yeah.
We're not lying.
No, I believe you. I just don't know enough about it. So I haven't done the research. Like, I'll have to check out your channel and what you're saying. I just don't know.
You haven't heard anything about ever the military manipulating the weather.
No.
They've been doing this for over 100 years. Okay, John F. Kennedy Jr. and his administration, they specifically talk about how they have the capabilities of controlling the world's stratosphere. And whoever controls the weather can control the world. This stuff goes back plenty of generations. Presidents way before Trump have been involved in this.
I'm just saying I don't know enough about it to speak on it.
Why don't you? Because these people aren't telling you. Don't you think if they cared about you and your children, they would tell you that the military's poisoning them? I care about you and your children. I don't want your children being poisoned.
That's why you have your own outlet to get this information to the people.
Yeah, but see, I don't work for CIA. I'm not a part of Mockingbird Media. So my outlet is heavily shadow banned. My media is prohibited from being shared on any meta platform. Zuckerberg hates us. X hates us. Any of the mainstream media outlets will not allow our reporting to get out because we don't just show files. I go to sites, I confront the people. I do it even with law enforcement. I'm a First Amendment auditor. I audit everything. I go on live videos so no one can take any of my words out of context, so no one can say that any of you guys did anything to me. I can't turn around and lie on you, and you guys can't turn around and lie on me, and everyone can witness with their own eyes the unvarnished truth. I have hundreds of videos that you can go see. And every one, you'll see me do some of the craziest things to wake people up. You'll see that. But you're also going to see on my channel, we've been staying, especially in Tent City. We've been out on the streets for over 2 months now, pulling children off of the streets, sending them back home, getting addicts into recovery, trying to get our disabled off the streets. I just met your hot team yesterday who came to my encampment over there by City Care Night Shelter, and they're returning with bikes for the homeless, food for my dog that we rescued, and they're getting me a bunch of paint so we can continue removing graffiti from the businesses. When I'm not directly confronting the military and media, I am doing the Lord's ministry on the streets, trying to get my people out of the hell they're in. Because while the military poisons their skies, my people are poisoning themselves on the streets. And ma'am, your law enforcement, you're not helping me stop the military from poisoning our children, but your law enforcement will be sent after the drug addicts that are smoking meth and shooting heroin up, and then they'll go and arrest them. They'll go and put them in jail. Why aren't you putting the chemtrail pilots who poison my children? Why aren't you putting them in jail? Why aren't you arresting the military who's involved with these illegal experiments? Why is the law enforcement only going after the drug dealers and the drug users instead of the military who's poisoning all of our children? Those people consent to poison themselves. That's what your addicts do. They're willfully poisoning themselves. I don't consent to the military poisoning me. I already don't do dope. Why would I want the military poison me when I don't touch dope?
What are the side effects of this poisoning?
The barium, aluminum, and strontium has shown an increase of quote-unquote mental illnesses. So when you see all these children and teenagers, just like you saw them all drop dead after the COVID jab, young children having heart attacks, it broke my heart to see all these kids, these parents thought they were doing the right thing, and then they jabbed them with a bioweapon. It's the same thing. The barium, aluminum, the strontium, the heavy metals that we're absorbing, the lithium won't allow us to have the cognitive ability to even know what's going on. We're absorbing lithium at the highest levels ever. It's in our water, it's tested in our air, it's in our public drinking water. The metals, the heavy metals are causing brain injuries, neurological dysfunctions for teenagers. They're not having mental illnesses. They're absorbing metals like mercury and barium and strontium. And
it's been going on for hundreds of years. Why is it just now? Has it always been increasingly showing signs?
No, they haven't had the capabilities that they've had, and their capabilities actually increased when they started. They built a new HARP facility. So if you research this, a Raytheon whistleblower came out and he did extensive interviews, and he's actually provided his testimony to congressional reps and everything. The United States military down in Antarctica in the Arctic, they built a new HARP. Now, if you know about the HARP facility that's up in Alaska, the new HARP they have down in the Arctic is actually 100 times more powerful than the current HARP that they have.
Hey, Michael,
Plus,
this gentleman here just has something to say to you real quick. He's from the building here.
I thought you didn't want to interview or talk to me a few minutes ago. You said you had nothing to say to me.
Well, I do now.
Okay.
And so what we're going to go ahead and let you know at this time is that you're not allowed on any of the Griffin properties.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm not allowed on any agree. So you guys see I'm being trespassed, but you guys are trespassed, so that's okay.
Trespassed if you come on. We just wanted to give you the courtesy.
Now, what is the purpose of me being trespassed? I just came here to do a report. I haven't caused a disturbance. I've been just trying to get you guys to cooperate with me. What is your reason for trespassing me? I'm just wondering.
Sir, you've been notified that if you are located, come onto our property.
Is this your property right here, or is this public easement? Is this your property, or is this public easement?
Public easement.
I know. Thank you. All right. Now, why am I being trespassed? Why am I being trespassed, sir? What did I do? Obviously, but you guys see that. So you won't see me cross onto their barrier. Just as they trespassed me from the Oklahoma University when I went to film those directed energy weapons, I haven't gone back. I do not break those rules. You guys stay within the confinements of the law. I have been trespassed. You guys haven't been trespassed.
You went to Oklahoma University to look at the...
You can go look on my channel. I provided a tour. Okay. I was at Oklahoma University. 2 months ago, I talked to the deputy chief of Cleveland County Sheriff's Department, and there's a live video on my news channel, and I told him that I was going to do everything I can to get the public to look at these directed energy weapons for what they were, that I was going to be running both psychological and real operations against the military's infrastructure, the media's ability to lie against us, and the government's ability to control the people with these lies. 3 specific targets with no human lives being targeted, only the equipment and the means they have to control us and deceive us. We're not going to harm anybody's life. We're only going to harm their ability to continue lying to us and to continue covering for the military who's poisoning us. Now, why aren't you guys helping me? The military's poisoning your children too. DARPA has your family signed up too. It's your kids. Your kids may one day see this video and be like, Mom, you were talking to that guy and he was telling you the truth the whole time. Why didn't you listen to him? Why didn't you and your colleagues help him and his team shut down these military experiments? We can do it without guns. We can do it without violence. It's very simple. God already showed me how we can do it. We don't need guns. We don't need violence. We just need peaceful, loving people who will say they don't consent to converge at strategic locations that we've already been provided, and we can shut down Oklahoma itself. Oklahoma's weather weapon, their research center, their weather command center, we can shut it down. I told Governor Stitt's office this. I asked your governor a question at his press conference. I asked him, and I told him, it's been confirmed. Bobby Kennedy Jr. has confirmed that the chemtrails are a part of the Department of Defense. It isn't his agency. It was confirmed that we're being poisoned, that Title 50 subsection 1528 violations are concurring. I asked Governor Stitt at his press conference, you can go see, does he have any plans to declare an emergency session so we can shut down these military crimes? He looked right at me and said no. That's the end of the press conference, and then he walked out. And if you look at my video, you'll see his staff ambush me afterwards, wanting to make sure that I'm a credentialed journalist. My work's been featured in Congress. If you know who AOC is, she's one of my biggest fans. She hates me.
Where was that at, that they ambushed you?
Where? At the governor's, at the Capitol. I have it on my news channel. Yeah, I was actually at the governor's press conference because I'm a member of the media, and in Oklahoma State Capitol. I spent my first month there when we came over 4 months ago. I'm talking to all your representatives. There's videos on my channel, ma'am. You'll see Tulsa families come down and deliver non-consent to their congressional reps, to their senators, to the governor's office, saying they don't consent to the military poisoning our skies. I have thousands of families right now that are hoping that we succeed because they know I'm telling the truth, and I'm not trying to get anyone to hurt anybody. I'm trying to stop the said that there's nothing we're going to be able to do. Agent Joshua Rich, I told him all we wanted was President Trump to declare a 3-year moratorium on DARPA. Shut down DARPA and the USAP operations, and we won't be sprayed with chemtrails. We won't be hit with electromagnetic frequencies and directed energy weapons, and they won't be able to manipulate the weather and use weather systems to depopulate areas, steal land, and murder Americans. They won't be able to do that. And that's all we're asking. Will you guys help us?
What does that look like for the police department helping you?
I mean, if you don't want to do an official, you can come when you don't have your badge and gun and just as a normal civilian like me, and then you can help us. It looks like doing what we're doing. Running recon, I'm putting all the coordinates of their infrastructure. So I have Fox News, CBS, ABC, and NBC. So any of their communication satellites, any of their quote-unquote Doppler radars, any of their infrastructure that they use to lie to the American people and cover for the United States military is open to be sabotaged and destroyed. They just had a communication weather satellite destroyed. They just had one. And I tried to call your guys' Crime Stoppers and let them know that they're going to see more of it, but the Oklahoma City Police Department keeps hanging up on me. In fact, you guys are the longest ones that's ever stood here and talked to me for this long, because you guys usually hang up on me. Your chief of police won't come down. Even Lieutenant Dale, who's supposed to be running the homeless outreach team, he knows my team's embedded with the homeless. Even Lieutenant Dale won't come down and talk to me because they know I'm going to talk about the military's treason while I'm also talking about ways we can help them deal with the addicts and the crime on their streets. My people are the ones covering up graffiti here. My people are the ones that are feeding the poor here. We're praying with them. We're getting addicts into recovery. We've sent 2 children home so far and just got a girl off the streets that was sleeping out there for 3 years. And she's in a hotel with my wife. That's what we're doing while we're also trying to stop these criminals from harming you, me, and our children.
What was your program called, sir?
Veterans on Patrol.
Veterans on Patrol, okay.
And if you look it up, it'll say that we're a violent Christian nationalist militia. But if you go to our channel, you'll see that we're anything but. I don't promote violence. I would never hurt you, ma'am. I would never hurt you or your family, him either. I'm not here to hurt people. I want them to stop.
Right. And
That's
like
it.
I said, I can tell that you're passionate and you are absolutely free to, you know, express your ideas and have your platform. And we just want to make sure everything stays peaceful.
Well, I'm going to be standing here on public easement. And I know how they're getting out through the back door. And I'm going to be here, so any employee coming in and out, just like the paparazzi does, I'm going to be asking them questions and to see whether or not they're willing to come look at evidence that this station won't provide. They won't provide the evidence. And that's the one thing that vindicates me. You can't call me a crazy conspiracy theorist when you take the evidence I gave to the FBI. I mean, wouldn't I get arrested if I was going to the FBI and filing false complaints and producing false whistleblowers? That's a crime. But you know what Agent Joshua Rich told me? He told me that the media, including myself, that we can lie to people. I asked him specifically. He said it's not fraud for anyone to take money from the public and provide news reports, that they had the First Amendment right to even lie. And under the Barack Obama administration, he was the one that opened up the door for the media to be used as propaganda against the American people. So right now, my audience knows that if I wanted to, I could lie to them, but I'm not going to. And I don't make them pay me money.
I mean, you know the law, so just stay off their property and don't violate.
Will you at least consider looking at my channel? And if God puts it on your heart, you look at your children. And I promise you, we have a safe way to shut down the military's crimes. That's all we're trying to do, is eliminate DARPA and eliminate their illegal experimentation on us, please.
I'll look into it.
And you can contact me. And God bless you and thank you for being very cordial. We're going to be standing here. We can't go across the perimeter right here. We're going to try to get anybody that's working within Griffin Media to come out and let them know that their ability to continue lying to the American people is going to come to an end. We're going to continue to put operations to eliminate their ability to communicate with the people. We don't want them having the ability to lie. DARPA is an illegal military project that Trump has just expanded. His big, beautiful bill is putting more directed energy weapons within your infrastructure. That's what's happening. Military's playing God with the weather. Griffin Media is lying about what happened in Texas, and they're concealing the fact that residents in the state of Oklahoma are cooperating with the FBI in efforts to shut down the military treason underway. Thank you, Father. That's peace. I don't know if you guys feel it right now, but I just had a nice breeze and a whisper in the air and peace upon me. Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. If you see what we're doing, everything we're doing, you can do. And if you're in a state, you can go to the media that's lying to your people. You can provide them the very evidence that we provide at the FBI. You can cite myself. I am an independent investigative journalist. You can say I cite the work of Michael Lewis, Arthur Meyer, and the research of Lori Kramer, both of which has filed complaints with the Oklahoma City FBI regarding the military's illegal experimentation upon the people. I'm going to stand out here and make them a little comfortable. And we're still going to go to the Oklahoma Police headquarters because we're going to ask them what they intend to do. Are they going to help us eliminate the infrastructure that's being used against ourselves and our children? Or are they going to protect the infrastructure that these people are using to commit crimes against us? And we want law enforcement to be recorded. We want you guys to know what their answer is to these hard questions, because we are telling them that we're going to destroy communications and directed energy weapons. We're not lying. We've already shown them our capabilities. We've shown them when we invaded Mexico and we tore out the cartel's infrastructure. And we ripped out all their water stations and communications up on the mountains across the state of Arizona, Pima County. Go look at our history. So they already know we had the capabilities. We went after the cartel and we didn't harm a living soul. We just destroyed their ability to traffic children through certain corridors that Republicans and Democrats were operating together. The AZ GOP and the AZ DNC were running secret sanctuary corridors, and they were bussing in terrorists, violent jihadi extremists. I'm talking CCP, Yemeni soldiers, Pakistani soldiers. You're not seeing ICE round up any of those people. And you guys are being set up, and they're dragging you to a very bad event. And what we want to do is change the timeline. That's it. There is an effort right now, and those within the CIA and those within the FBI and those within the Department of Defense, those that have the security clearance to know what I'm talking about with changing the timeline, well, there's nothing that they can do right now to me, and they understand that. But if a black swan event occurs, and those that are listening to me step outside of what artificial intelligence has already told them, quantum computing has already told the powers to be how Americans will act. No, matter of fact, how Americans will not act. Artificial intelligence believes 100% that the timeline that they've laid forth for their global agenda will be adhered to, and any mass disruption, any mass civil unrest will not occur. That they had the means to keep the American people distracted and the rest of the people across the globe. But we're finding over across the pond in NATO nations that patriots are going out and they're burning and disabling 5G towers, which are directed energy weapons. The military has embedded technology on those towers. Those towers serve more than one purpose, and if you do the research, it'll scare you. It'll scare you. It won't scare me. I have faith in God. But if you don't have faith in God, it's going to scare the shit out of you. And maybe that's what it'll take it to get you to start talking to God. For those of you listening to me and you think that I'm crazy and that God is fake, absolutely not. Can you not see the horde of heavenly angels over me right now? Can you not see the fear and uncertainty in Freemasons who are protecting this building? Can you not see the confoundment of law enforcement who have no idea what to do? They know I'm telling the truth. I'm not committing any victims here. There is no one they can bring forth to say that I've harmed them. No one. Not even the owner of the equipment that the media is using to broadcast fake news across the nation, across the state. Not even that's a crime. Not even that's a crime. Although they have a right to lie to us because Obama gave them the right to lie to us, they still don't have the right to use weapons against us. And information warfare is classified as a weapon through the Department of Defense. And since we are in live exercises, we are doing every single thing that the Department of Defense is doing against us in a twisted way returned back to them. We are directly targeting their abilities to continue poisoning us, to continue programming us, and to continue plugging us into the internet body of things. See, there's nothing they can do to stop me because I'm a walking promise. My Heavenly Father said, I don't have to take the mark. I don't have to submit myself to the beast. I don't have to make myself a part of the internet body of things. All I have to do is trust in Jesus. And that promise isn't just for me. That promise is for any believer who's going to walk away from the governments, walk away from their political saviors, and walk towards Jesus Christ, pick up his cross and march. There's nothing they can do to touch me because God promised our people would have a way out. The way is straight and narrow. I am showing you a broad path that my Heavenly Father lets me walk on, and the destruction isn't upon me. The destruction continues to be upon the media, the military, the government, and their lies and propaganda, which are controlling the American people. That's what's happening. God has me anointed. I am a peculiar person. The things that I'm saying actually freaks out. The CIA don't want you guys talking about timelines. They don't want you guys talking about certain military experiments, that walking anomalies like me. I'm not the only one out here, just so you know. Praise God. I'm not the only one out here. And we've already had 8 additional individuals contact to volunteer. And I don't have to do vetting. My people know me, and I know my people. They serve Jesus Christ, and we're on the same team. You don't serve Jesus Christ, you're not on my team. So the United States military deployed weather weapons and murdered 27 children in Texas, and Channel 9 is refusing to provide that evidence to Oklahoma because Governor Stitt has all these defense contracts all these defense spending, all this investment within the defense, and he has a plan to be on the Trump administration. He's on his last term. He can't run for election again. And he wants his political sails to spread out further. And he wants to expand his horizon. So he's lying to those in Oklahoma. He's allowing the military and DARPA, all of your weather modification comes out of the state of Oklahoma. The radar operation commands, the military weather installations in this state. This is the weather capital of the nation. If we shut down Oklahoma, we cripple their ability to poison your skies in New York, California, Florida, Texas, Michigan, Illinois, all of you guys choking on sky poisons. Those of you in Tennessee still choking on sky poisons, even though they made it illegal. Florida still choking on sky poisons, even though they made it illegal. Now think about that. We want all the chemtrails to stop. We want all the directed energy weapons to be removed from the civilians' infrastructure. If the military wants to point directed energy weapons, let them build them in Iraq. Let them build them in Russia. Let them build them in China. Since the military says these are our enemies, why are they building directed energy weapons in civilian infrastructure and pointing those guns at me and you? I'm under threat. The military has a weapon pointed at me. The military has used weapons against me. The military has attempted to have me civilly committed. Praise God. Praise God. Every time they've tried, it's failed. Praise God. Because I'm not lying. And the passion that that lady was talking about, that's the spirit. Praise God. That's when the spirit takes over. That passion, it's not a bad spirit. It's a good spirit. It's a desperation for the right thing, a thirst for an end of wickedness. The return to something good, replacing something evil with something righteous. That's good. That's passion. That's what we need. If you're not passionate, then you don't need to be on our missions. You need to be overly passionate because we don't have enough people fighting for our children right now. Wherever you are in the United States of America, you are subject to DARPA. You are subject to the internet bodies of things. You are subject to USAP operations. The military will continue poisoning your skies. The military will continue deploying weather weapons against you. And Channel 9 will continue to refuse to provide that evidence to their viewers. The very evidence we submitted to the FBI and Governor Stitt, this news station is lying just by concealing it. They won't tell you what's really happening. Any calls coming in, I'm going to be off here and going back live. I'll be busy down in the Capitol today. They gotta stick around and make sure that I don't do anything to cross over, or, but we got a lot of people in the lobby. And now you have everybody in that building talking about some violent militia leader that's out there claiming that the military's playing God with the weather. That's good. Let's have these conversations. How many employees in this building actually knows I'm telling the truth? Maybe one of those guys are going to reach out to me. Maybe you see this. Maybe you want to give me some other locations, some things that I don't know, some easier ways that we can sabotage the infrastructure and shut down Channel 9's ability to lie to Oklahomans. Because Agent Joshua Rich said they're allowed to lie to you and they're allowed to get paid lying to you. Isn't that insane? That's not a conspiracy. That's a fact. I got it from the FBI's own mouth, and that was recorded. Everything I'm stating, they have over 4 hours of interviews. We have been desperately trying to shut down the military treason. We have desperately been trying to get the state officials, the politicians, even law enforcement. I have asked highway patrolmen, U.S. Marshals, FBI agents, and local law enforcement and sheriff deputies to help me. I'm not ashamed, I'll ask them. And not everyone says no. And it only takes a few. Right now, because there are active duty military assisting veterans on patrol, the active federal agent that's assisting veterans on patrol, a few cops that are still on duty, they still have their badges, they still report to work, but they're assisting veterans on patrol. That means veterans on patrol is operating under the collar of law. Just like when they tried to set us up with destroying the cartel's infrastructure, they found out that I was actually working with federal agents and Border Patrol. And I had all the communications, I had the coordinates, I took out the cartel's infrastructure where they asked me to, and they caught a whole bunch of bad guys. Because I operated under the collar of law, they were not able to take me to a jury of my peers. They weren't able to. The most they could do was hold me for 6 months in a solitary confinement cell, and then when they released me, we went into Mexico. We went into Mexico illegally, and then we destroyed more of their infrastructure, and we poured more children out of the trafficking lines. That's what happened. And I have no problem if they would attempt to hold me captivity again, because it just allows me to rest, and my Father sets me loose, and then it is heaven raining down upon these demonic entities, this satanic agenda that everyone's walking lockstep and barrel straight towards. You're voting for it. You're still trusting the President of the United States. You're still trusting the military. And the ones who aren't, some of you you're just too proud. You don't want to admit you were wrong and that you were tricked. And you don't want to admit that the military you served in is criminal and committing treason upon the people. But guess what? Every one of you who served in the military, especially since the 90s, the military's been illegally experimenting on the people. This goes back to their chemical fogs that they've done out on the West Coast, their chemical mist that they've done on the East Coast. The military has been exposed multiple times using chemical and biological agents against the civilian population, and there has never been accountability. There hasn't been accountability. In fact, when Clinton told you about the illegal military experiments, the FBI worked with a militia, and the FBI blew up their own building. They blew up the FBI building right down here in Oklahoma City. You guys have been to the memorial with me. So when Clinton's letting Americans know that they admitted, Clinton apologized. Go look at it. President Clinton apologizes for military experiments against the people. Illegal experiments. But then when they give you that, they give you a big boom. You're not allowed to look at the military. What do they want you to look at? Militias. How do they want you to look at militias? Dangerous, violent, extremists. They murdered children in a daycare when they blew up the Alfred P. Murray building. No. The FBI was part of that operation, just like the FBI was part of the operation to kidnap Gretchen up there, the governor of Michigan. The FBI was a part of that operation. The FBI was a part of the operation in 9/11. The FBI was a part of the operations Waco, Ruby Ridge. The FBI has a track record of being a part of the very quote-unquote criminals that are only trying to stand up for their God-given rights and protect their children from an overreaching, oppressive, tyrannical government that serves Israel first, Americans second. We're sick of the Mossad. The Mossad has controlled and compromised our president, our politicians, and now they've closed the Epstein case, so you guys will never know just how bad the compromise is. It's huge. It goes all across. The sitting president, Alan Dershowitz, even Jeffrey Epstein's lawyer claiming Trump had nothing to do with that. They couldn't release the files because then once you realize Jeffrey Epstein's lawyer lied, you're going to have all kinds of more questions. What else were they lying about? And how are all these people working together? So we're not going to get a solution through the Trump administration. We've already tried. Trump was told a month ago that a violent militia was targeting directed energy weapons that the military was using to play God with the weather. He wasn't told that a conspiracy group was going after Doppler radars, because that's not the truth. He was actually told that directed energy weapons that are part of the DARPA USAP operations are being targeted by a violent militia. And President Donald Trump, oh no, that's not good. Keep me updated. That's his response. Bobby Kennedy Jr. goes out and confirms DARPA, confirms the Department of Defense is the ones poisoning our skies. And yet Americans do nothing. And you can't just share what that man says and say, see, I told you so. You have to take his admission and take his admission to the very criminals who are responsible for either concealing or facilitating these crimes. And it's a lot of people. The governor on down. Every sitting member in the Oklahoma Capitol. The Capitol is going to see us this week too, guys. Those of you that are coming out to do the Capitol, because we're going to cause a lot of problems at the Capitol. Good problems. Not disruptions that are against the law, but actually good problems that's going to draw light to anybody going in and out of there begging politicians to do the right thing. How many of these people going to the Capitol are aware of what the military is doing and how Governor Stitt is concealing military crimes? How do you think Oklahomans are going to feel when they realize that they've been choking on more and more poisons and they have more EMF radiation all around them because Governor Stitt is expanding DARPA and the weather manipulation capabilities of the military in the state of Oklahoma? That's Governor Stitt. He's on his last tour, his last term, and he's on his way out. And on his way out, he's doing everything he can to protect the military and advance the military's capabilities and infrastructure in this state. Governor Stitt's going to make a lot of money on his stock portfolio, on his military investments, on his new position that he's been promised by the Trump administration. We're going to try to knock all that out. We don't want Governor Stitt going to work for the Trump administration. He said him and his house serves the Lord. Go to his office. We've shown you that plaque. If him and his house serves the Lord, why does he want to go serve the President of the United States, who's using the military to murder Americans, who's concealing the fact that the military is poisoning us? Governor Stitt doesn't want to serve the Lord. He wants to serve himself. And because he wants to serve himself, he's serving Satan. And anytime we serve Satan, we're definitely not serving the Lord. So we're hoping Governor Stitt, at some point, is going to say, nope, Christ is going to get to his heart. He's going to contact us because that's what we're supposed to do in the Bible. He says he believes in God and Jesus Christ. Why hasn't he had any meetings with us specifically to discuss what we need to do that is Christ-like to address the evil that the military is doing upon us? The United States military keeps saying it. It freaks them out. They want you to blame corporations. They want you to blame cloud seeding. They want you to blame everyone else other than who's responsible. DARPA, Department of Defense, Pete Hegseth. Those of you guys that know the number to Pete Hegseth, you should be blowing his phone up constantly. You should flood his emails. If some of you, that's all you ever do is you make calls and you send emails. How many of you are actually calling the FBI? How many of you are actually calling the White House? See, everybody thinks that everyone else is calling and emailing so they don't have to. So what you end up having is you have a very small show of support that's being shown for an opportunity that could be amazing because everyone would rather just either not share it because they don't want to have their account flagged and they don't want to risk having their Facebook shut down. God forbid you don't have your archive of your self-love. God forbid you don't have that. And we don't want to hear about, oh, this is where all our family stuff are. Well, with today's technology, you can take all those pictures and videos, secure them on a drive, put them in a Faraday cage with the laptop, and then you'll be able to view them even after an EMP is hit. There's no reason. There's just excuses and laziness of the American people. They're afraid to even tell their neighbors the truth because they're going to be mocked or criticized. So either they don't believe in what we're reporting and they pretend like they do, or they believe in what we're reporting, but they're just willing to submit to the military and permit the military to poison their children, to send weather weapons against them. How long we got here? We caused problem, 1 hour and 11 minutes? I think they're going to route everyone through the back. So let's go to the back again. We'll show you guys some stuff that they're doing. We believe that they are planning to build the world's tallest skyscraper. Well, in America. They're going to build the tallest skyscraper in America because some Arab country has already started and designed a taller one than what they're going to build in Oklahoma. And I believe, not 100% sure, unless one of these guys was not right, but because he didn't sound positive. The place I'll be showing you in a minute, this big old demolition that's taking place. That's a location, I guess, where we're going to have the nation's tallest skyscraper. What's going on in Oklahoma? Freemasons are having a field day out here. Fraternal Order of Police still promoting the satanic agenda while pretending to serve the public. Law enforcement still going out to arrest drug addicts and drug dealers, but they won't do shit about the military poisoning our children. Nope, they won't do that. This is the back door. So I'm looking to see that other side looks like a secure gated area, so they can either go out the front. This is the way I went in earlier when I talked with security. So but we have another trespass, which is good. The trespass opens the door for a lone wolf to go do something. Employees will be coming in and out of this car garage. So this is another place where someone can film when they're getting off or going in and out of lunch and just get the plates. We look the plates up, we get their faces, their addresses, we see their LinkedIn accounts. If they're working for the media, they're a target. Those are the ones that we need to get all of our questions asked to. We need to push all of our material to these individuals. We need to give them the truth and the opportunity to tell the truth. And if they choose not to, well then fine. We can't convince them to. We're not going to do anything to strong arm them. We're just going to disrupt their ability to continue lying. Yes, and I do think we are going to still go to the, I'm going to come down to the demo area this way. We're definitely going to be doing the law enforcement. I got a few things. One, I want to let the hot team and get a message up to Lieutenant Dale, just to let him know that we ran into his hot team yesterday. And they're more than likely just trying to look for all the individuals with me, because they're looking for the individual who took out Channel 9's communication satellite, their weather radar satellite. So, I mean, when they come with that many people and you see them looking all the way around, they know where I'm at. Law enforcement knows where I am. I'm not hiding. They know exactly where our encampment is. They know what we're doing. They know we're moving graffiti. They know we're pulling trash out of a creek. They know I'm working to get people off of the dope. I have drug addicts that are talking about not doing dope, where they were never even talking about that till we showed up. So we're making a positive impact. And we're out here on the streets to protect the vulnerable and the runaway teenagers that get caught up and sucked into this drug life out here. We're out here to send them back home. This is the crazy demolition. Americans just so wasteful, man. There wasn't any mold or any real biological or chemical reason to destroy this entire building. Just a plan for billionaires to make more billions. But as you can see, it's happening faster, doing an extensive job. And so if they're right, then this whole section, this giant square grid, this is where you're going to see a huge skyscraper build. You got the Devon Tower right there. So it's going to be taller. It's supposed to be taller than that. So, I mean, hell, if they took that fence down, there'd be probably about 1,000 homeless people over here dragging all that scrap off to the scrap yard to make money. They wouldn't even have to pay to haul the stuff out. All they'd have to do is take the fence down and allow the trash to become a homeless person's treasure. I know plenty of people who will come up here with bikes and carts on the back of them to peddle all this scrap material down to the salvage yard and make a few bucks. But if you've never seen a building demolition, it's pretty neat to watch how they go through and do it. Oklahoma's priorities is building the nation's tallest skyscraper, not preventing the military from poisoning our children. Governor Stitt, he's more concerned about his political career than he is about the children in Oklahoma who are choking on sky poisons, courtesy of the United States military. Dealing with a bunch of cowards and traitors. And some people that you see me speak harshly about, you watch what happens and how quick I humble myself, because God's going to soften the hearts of the very least people I expect, because that's the way he is. That's how he lets me know he's in charge. That's how I know it's him I'm walking with. He's the one that's opening the doors, not the adversary. And you've seen me humble myself before to apologize to people I've spoken harshly about, and I'm sincere about that. Because the minute they cross over and they start doing the Christ-like thing, they are my brother. I had nothing. I had no animosity. All is forgiven. We work together as one body to go and save our people and prepare them to extract themselves from the beast system that's being ushered in through the golden age. You guys have globalism coming in. That's what the conservatives and neocons voted for. Barack Obama wouldn't have gotten away with 1/10 of what President Trump has convinced the patriots in America to sign up for. They're so happy they don't get tax on tips and no tax on overtime. But guess what you get? More sky poisons for your children to choke on, dumbasses. You're getting more directed energy weapons put in your infrastructure around your schools, increasing the cancer rates, increasing the military's capabilities to select targeted individuals, make them crazy, put thoughts inside of their brains, drop them with a heart attack. So many people, it's already taken that jab. You're just walking experiments right now. And a lot of these towers are built for you, not for me. They won't affect me. These weapons they won't prosper against me. I'm not out here fighting for my safety. No, it's for our children, our future. Our children need someone to stand up and fight for them. This is 9 News. Okay, all right, we got this one here. Let's see what this lady looks like. Oh, tenant window. Oh, it's a dude. I got him, though. I know what he looks like. There's plate 9 News. All right. These are some of the people that are lying to you. Here comes another one. Let's see. Yep, she's Channel 9. She's got a little press pass on. NLK323. So we'll go back and look at these videos. Here's 2 Channel 9 employees that just left. They're probably going to go do a story on tulips growing in the botanical garden, so people can gorge themselves upon nature and not address the imminent threat that every one of us are living under. See, if the media was a vital tool to inform the public of threats against them, then the media would be covering the biggest threat. But since the media is actually concealing the biggest threat, they are no longer a vital tool that the communities and cities need. We don't need the media. We don't need their reporting. We don't need them, because they're covering for the military who's poisoning us. They're not providing us any safety. They're keeping us in chain by lying to us and distracting us from the imminent threats that we face every day. So they're not going to be able to go to any jury and try to convince them that they're a vital necessity for public awareness. No, you're not. No, you're not. You're Mockingbird Media. Anyone working for corporate media, all these independent, like right side broadcasters, you see all these quote unquote independent alternative media outlets. Guess what they do? They incorporate themselves. That's it. They profit themselves. And they feed you a political story. You don't see Newsmax, Fox News, or right side broadcasting talking about DARPA and the sky poisons and the weather weapons, because President Trump will not talk about it. And they're only going to talk about what the commander-in-chief talks about, because that's what those news outlets are for. Newsmax, right side broadcasting, that's what the Real America Voice, you don't see them going after imminent threats. You don't see them telling you guys what you really need to know to prepare yourself for where we're headed, because you have an opportunity to step away from this satanic government. You have an opportunity to pull your children out from their indoctrination centers. Don't let your children go to their education universities. Hand your children over to Jesus Christ and have faith that God will put them on a path that they need to be on. That's it. Very simple. You're better off trusting God than you are the government, and we have plenty of years of evidence proving that. God's always answered our prayers. He's never harmed us. He's always provided for us. The government's only lied to us. The government's only used weapons against us. The government's only imprisoned us. The government's only restricted our rights. The government's only been a tyrannical leader, whereas our Heavenly Father, who gives us free will, we're allowed to disobey Him. And guess what? He'll still forgive us. The government? No, no, no. If you go against the government, like some of our whistleblowers, and you expose the government for committing crimes against the American people, well, you're not given forgiveness. You're not allowed back in that club. You're either going to be incarcerated and suicided, or just flat out murdered. Jeffrey Epstein's videos didn't exist for the jail cell after his quote-unquote suicide. But then suddenly, all the videos are there, but they just had to be edited. You know, at some point, guys, those of you that are still watching this show unfold, you have to step away from watching it and start a new script. Join a new script, a new act that doesn't compute with what they're doing. We're trying to create as many anomalies and black swan events across the United States of America, targeting the military, media, and government. And that's it. Not individuals, the institutions and infrastructure they use to commit crimes against our children. And there are so many people across the world aware of stratospheric aerosol injections and DARPA. We don't have concerns about any jury, because there's going to be one believer in Jesus Christ who's going to know the Holy Spirit speaking. There's going to be one believer. There's going to be one mother who has a child with mental illness because of the poisons the military put in the air, and she knows that it's heavy metals killing her children. They're not going to find anybody guilty of taking out weapons being used against us. The media's a weapon, the military's a weapon, and the government's a weapon. So we're going to close this out and go to the Oklahoma City Police Department. You guys just seen us. We notified them that they're going to have more sabotage to their equipment. We gave them a chance to send the editor out to sit down, and I'm more than willing to tell every one of their viewers. And if I'm a crazy conspiracy thought, then why don't you let me on so people can laugh at me? Because I'm going to speak the unvarnished truth. And that truth has already turned the hearts and minds of many of those in law enforcement who originally set out and they thought they would be arresting me because I was some violent criminal. But then they find out, oh man, no, I'm not. They find out. They hear the spoken truth. They know my heart, because God's given me the ability to provide my heart out to them and show them I'm not a threat to any person. I am a threat to the enemy, which is our adversary. I am a threat to satanic lies and deceptions. I am a threat to the infrastructure, and just like so many of you are, we're threats to the United States military's weapons being pointed at us, the media's capabilities of lying to us, and you're going to see more media equipment. Pay attention to the channel. I'm going to get ready to go over to the police department. I'll be telling them some of the same things I've told these guys, but I want to get as much of it on the record as possible, because I want the Department of Defense to use all of my videos and to find any crime I've committed or any victim I've committed. I want them to, but I know they won't. They're definitely not going to show anybody what's really going on. They definitely won't release the hours of recordings they have with us talking with special agents in the FBI. And every one of you who told us to trust Cash Patel and Dan Bongino, what did I tell you? I said I only trust Jesus, and guess what? Jesus won again, and he will always win. As soon as you stop sucking the teats off this government and stop worshiping these politicians and these actors that are being put in administrative positions, you'll be able to serve Jesus too. But you can't serve Jesus and Trump's administration at the same time, because Jesus doesn't use the military to poison our children. Jesus is a chief physician. He heals, protects, loves, and provides salvation to our children. In the name of Jesus Christ, everything spoken was true, and we're getting ready to go do more work. Amen. This is Louis Arthur, VOP News. Gotta go.